So these are all of the hurricane tracks ever recorded in history. And interesting, here's the Gulf, Eastern USA, Central America. But look where we are. Along the west coast of South America, we have tropical storms, but no true hurricanes. And it's all to do, why do hurricanes develop in the first place? It's basically three things. You have to have enough heat in the ocean, in the water. You have to have enough moisture in the atmosphere, and it has to take place near the equator where there's enough spin, the Coriolis effect from the spinning of the planet. So look at where this happens. These are the breeding grounds. Well, we have places at the same latitude, say Madagascar, east coast of Africa, where we do have hurricanes. So the secret here is we have the spin, but we don't have the heat because of the Humboldt current. The Humboldt current actually protects this coast from hurricanes. In the old days, it was pretty easy. If there was a nasty weather event, you just blamed it on the gods, and then you had to do something to keep them happy. Nowadays, it's a little more complicated, and life is getting more complex all the time. And we really don't know who's responsible. So we know things like this. We have enough solar energy that hits the planet just in 1 hour that could supply our human civilization for an entire year. So that's how much solar energy there is around. One of the things that's really changed just in the last couple of decades is our understanding how the oceans and the atmosphere work together. And we really don't think of them as two separate systems anymore. It's one super cycle working together, and that's very important for us to understand what's going on. This thin blue layer is the atmosphere of our planet. And we tend to think of it as limitless, really, but it really isn't. If the planet was the size of an onion, our atmosphere is like that parchment, that thin, thin layer on the onion. So our atmosphere is not limitless. When we went to Greenland, I ran across this carving. And I'm not sure exactly what they were trying to get across, but it looked like it knew something was coming up. There's some big changes afoot. And we do know for a fact that the Arctic ice is melting very quickly, and things are changing drastically up there. But here we are, sort of at the other end of the world, and you might think, well, what does Arctic ice have to do with me here? Well, if you live anywhere in North America, it's going to have a lot to do with your weird weather. And weird weather is sort of a key to understanding what's happening. And it's particularly true up in the northern hemisphere. This is showing you the amount of ice that we've lost. And I think if you remember anything from my talk today, this is the one where you can go home and tell your relatives and friends and grandkids, I finally figured out what's going on and why the climate is so weird. And it's largely to do because of the polar jet stream. And how many people have heard of the vortex? It's like this thing that's haunting North America, the polar vortex. Well, this is what it is. We had the original ice cap, the polar ocean, frozen solid at the top of the world, and then the jet stream was sort of locked in place. It was actually so cold that it kept it in a tight ring. But now that so much of that ice has melted, it's not cold enough to hold that jet stream tight, and so this is what we have happening. we have these loops where suddenly the jet stream is taking cold, cold weather down into Florida and ruining oranges. Or doing loops down into France, snow falling in Rome, things like that. And it's largely because the polar jet stream has become unhinged and let loose to go. And the problem is sometimes it gets locked in these really strange loops. Have you seen where, say, eastern North America, New York, Boston, seems like the snow keeps coming, the winter's cold, and it didn't used to be that way. It's because this pattern gets locked in place. Down where we are, the Antarctic ice is still cold enough to keep the polar jet stream in the south end locked fairly tight. So that's why when we were in Ushuaia, down at the south end, Tierra del Fuego, it's cold, and it's pretty well always cold. So you've probably heard this about the temperature rise predicted for the next 100 years, and 3 to 4 degrees. And I think the scientists they don't do a very good job of explaining this. It's because we have this next graph. This is based on what's called the average global temperature. The average global temperature is around 15 degrees Celsius. So if you're talking about a 3 to 4 degree rise, that's a big change. Somehow they don't get that across very effectively. You know, when I think of our achievements as a human race, it's just mind-boggling what we're capable of doing. We've been to space. But you know, having a big brain doesn't mean you use it. Look at the wiring here. Interestingly enough, sort of in biological terms and in evolutionary terms, a big brain and a highly intelligent species is an experiment. And we've got a little while to see how the experiment goes, but it doesn't look that successful. Here's a version of parenting, and it's a little bit how it's almost like us and the planet. So I hope we aren't like this fellow. Big smile, and all of a sudden he realizes things are changing quickly. I don't want to be like that guy. Expect the unexpected, and more than that, I'd say prepare for the unexpected. Well, it's been a real privilege and a pleasure to spend this time with you folks. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. I wish you a wonderful voyage and see you around the ship. Thank you.